Yes, we're back. Roshfooco Watches and Things, and the third of three in our trilogy of 80s and 90s Seiko diver lineage. And this is a little beauty. Another Seiko quartz from the Seiko Suwa factory. The 6458-600A mid-size Seiko diver, 150 meter water resistance as it and its brethren were of the time. I think produced from the late 70s to the mid 80s. As far as I can tell, this one's from December of 1981. Although I'm willing to be corrected on that if anyone is better at identifying manufacture dates than I am. As I say, this is a mid-size, so it's only about 37.5, 38 across. Lug end to lug end, 42mm. Thickness is just under 11, about 10 3/4, and it does have a frustratingly size 19mm lug opening. I've squeezed a 20mm NATO on there. That's okay, that's not a problem. Beautiful little watch. Obviously seen better days, but it is best part of 40 years old. Bezel might have had some, I don't know whether that's damp, got under the paintwork, or somebody's tried to touch it up in the past, I'm not sure. But the dial itself, if we can zoom in on the dial, is really, really clean. Beautiful orange dial. I'm a sucker for orange dial watches. Applied indexes. Gold tone frame to the indexes and the hands. The second hand with a black spear coming off the gold. Lollipop counterbalance. Again, it operates with that same Seiko diver design language. Obviously the geometry is honed down a bit for the mid-size. Just a beautiful watch. The quartz movement here as well is a well-regarded, well-respected 6458, again with majority metal parts, has an anti-magnetic shell, was perhaps the last of Seiko's really robust and over-engineered quartz movements. It was followed up by the 7C43 or the 6010 mid-size, with a whole host more less durable plastic parts as far as I'm aware. I think those came in around 1985. There's the case back, again with the famous wave motif. Movement caliber and case reference. Made in Japan. Again with that Seiko Suwa factory markings as well. Really lovely. Let's see how a 37.5 fits on my 7-inch wrist. And there it is, 37.5, 38 mil. No problem at all on a 7-inch wrist. I actually like a nice 38 mil. Even a dive watch is great. You don't always have to be carrying around a 42 or a 44 in your wrist. Neither do you always have to have something tiny on your wrist. Mix it up. There's lots and lots of different options to have. I think actually sticking this one on a NATO gives it a little more presence, kind of extends the lug to lug somehow, helps it sit up on the wrist a bit as well. Just a beautiful watch. Let's just get back under the lights to wrap up. Okay, to wrap things up, in this trilogy we've had a chance to look at that line of Seiko divers through the 80s and the 90s that brought a fairly niche watch really into the mainstream. That dive watch aesthetic which we still have to this day through icons as the SKX, and that case design followed through into the multitude of different options available with the new or 2019 released Seiko 5 sports models. We saw the 754 7000 quartz. We had a look at the beautiful 7002-700A automatic with a lovely elongated marker at 12. And we also managed to take a look at the 6458-600A mid-size Seiko quartz diver from the early 80s. All three of them have got the same Seiko design language. All three of them are still robust and rugged and timeless enough to be worn 35, 40 years later. And all three of them can be picked up with a service thrown in for similar money to what you're paying for the Seiko 5 Sports of today. I'll leave it up to you which ones you like, which ones you would prefer to have in your collection. I hope you've enjoyed the look at this line of Seiko divers. I'm Roshfooco, Watches and Things, and I'm out.